During the Second World War, Britain built weapons it never wanted, photographed, displayed, or discussed. Some were so secret that their existence was denied long after the war ended. Others were designed to look like anything except a weapon. One of these devices did not resemble a gun at all. It had no conventional trigger guard, no recognizable silhouette, no intention of being used in open combat. It was designed for one purpose only: to kill quietly and leave no trace. This was the Welrod pistol, and its story reveals how Britain truly intended to fight a war that officially did not exist. By 1940, Britain had accepted a difficult truth. Conventional warfare could not reach everywhere the enemy controlled. Large areas of Europe were under occupation. Resistance movements existed, but they were fragile, poorly equipped, and constantly exposed. British planners understood that sabotage, intelligence gathering, and targeted killings would be unavoidable. But these operations came with a unique problem: noise. A single gunshot could alert patrols, compromise safe houses, and unravel entire resistance networks. Britain did not need quieter guns. It needed guns that were almost inaudible. In July 1940, Britain created a new organization, the Special Operations Executive, commonly known as the SO. Its mission was deliberately vague: to set Europe ablaze. The SOE was tasked with sabotage, espionage, subversion, and support for resistance movements. Unlike conventional military units, SO agents operated without uniforms, without clear legal status, often without the possibility of rescue. Their equipment needed to reflect this reality. Everything had to be small, concealable, and deniable. Weapons were no exception. Standard pistols were ill-suited for covert work. Even suppressed firearms were often too loud in enclosed spaces. Mechanical noise, muzzle blast, and shell ejection all produced sound. Automatic actions increased noise and risked malfunctions. For an SOE agent, a single loud shot could mean immediate capture, execution as a spy, or the destruction of an entire resistance cell. Britain needed a weapon that sacrificed speed, power, and range for one thing only: silence. The Welrod was developed in Britain specifically for covert operations. Its design philosophy was radical. Instead of adding a suppressor to an existing gun, the Welrod was built around its suppressor. The suppressor was not an attachment. It was the core of the weapon. Everything else existed to support silence. The Welrod's appearance was intentional and unsettling. It was cylindrical, minimalist, almost industrial. There was no visible hammer, no traditional grip, no trigger guard. At a glance, it did not resemble a firearm. This mattered. If an agent was searched, hesitation could mean survival. Confusion could buy time. Britain understood that recognition was as dangerous as sound. The Welrod was bolt-action. After each shot, the user manually cycled the bolt. This eliminated the mechanical noise associated with semi-automatic pistols. The suppressor used rubber wipes, which physically slowed and trapped escaping gases. The result was extraordinary. At close range, the sound was often described as a muffled cough, a soft thud, or a door closing gently. In urban environments, it blended into background noise. The Welrod was never intended for regular troops. It was issued to SOE, agents, resistance leaders, intelligence operatives, saboteurs operating behind enemy lines. These individuals worked alone or in small cells. They had no backup, no reinforcements, no legal protection for them. The Welrod was not a weapon of combat. It was a tool of necessity. The Welrod had serious drawbacks. Extremely slow rate of fire, limited effective range, required calm, controlled use, ineffective in open combat. Britain accepted all of this because the Welrod was not meant to win fights. It was meant to remove obstacles quietly. A guard, a sentry, an informer, and then disappear. Britain knew exactly what it was creating. The Welrod was not defensive. It was not symbolic. It was not meant to deter. It was a deliberate killing tool. This is why it was never celebrated, never paraded, never publicly acknowledged. It represented a form of warfare that governments preferred not to discuss. In occupied territories, silence was survival. Resistance fighters lived among civilians. Operations took place in homes, alleyways, stairwells. A loud weapon would have been catastrophic. The Welrod allowed agents to operate in environments where conventional firearms would have been impossible to use. It enabled actions that would otherwise have been unthinkable. After the war, Britain did not rush to publicize the Welrod. Its existence raised uncomfortable questions. How many times was it used? Against whom? Under what authority? Many of the operations it supported remained classified. Silence became policy. The Welrod influenced later suppressed weapon designs, but more importantly, it revealed something deeper. Britain was willing to operate outside conventional warfare, accept moral ambiguity, prioritize outcomes over appearances. The Welrod was not an accident, it was a reflection of intent. The Welrod challenges romantic ideas of war. It reminds us that victory often depends on secrecy, compromise actions taken in silence. It shows that not all weapons are built to be seen. Some are built to disappear. The Welrod was never meant to be remembered. It was designed to function quietly, leave no trace, and vanish. But understanding it matters, because wars are not only won by armies and battles. They are won by decisions made in silence. This was one of them. If you want to understand how Britain really fought World War II, not how it preferred to remember it, subscribe to Hidden Weapons of History, because the most important weapons are often the ones history tries to forget.